say, I don't know. Not anymore. Donald Trump said, I don't know, a couple of times today.
Is the administration sending migrants to Libya?
I don't know. You'll have to ask Homeland Security, please.
Now that one could just be Donald Trump's reflexive pathological lying, which the psychiatrists who co-authored that book say is a part of mental illness. It is also entirely possible that it is an honest answer that Donald Trump actually has no idea where he is sending people to prisons around the world. Massachusetts federal judge Ryan Murphy, who was appointed by President Biden, issued an order today to prevent Donald Trump from trying to deport anyone to a prison in Libya. Judge Murphy had already issued an order stopping the new version of Trump deportations to random countries around the world. Lawyers for some immigrants who were told they were going to be sent to a prison in Libya alerted Judge Murphy as news reports were leaking information about the plan, and Judge Murphy issued his order to prevent any deportation flights to Libya. The New York Times reports the filing came after U.S. officials said on Tuesday that the Trump administration was planning to transfer migrants to Libya on a U.S. military plane. They said the flight could have left as soon as Wednesday. Amnesty International has called the prison where the immigrants would have been sent in Libya a hellscape. Marco Rubio, who believes his route to the next Republican nomination for president depends on how much cruelty he can publicly exhibit, has said this.
Beyond that, and I say this unapologetically, we are actively searching for other countries to take people from third countries. So we are active, not just El Salvador, we are working with other countries to say, we want to send you some of the most despicable human beings to your countries. Will you do that as a favor to us? And the further away
Donald Trump like him, look at that, look funny. Three different posts and giving it up. You now have one job, you have three jobs.
No, we get it. You're
Big
not
job.
apologetic about it. You're trying to play cruel on TV because you believe that's how you will win the Republican nomination. Donald Trump told the reporter who asked about sending immigrants to Libya today that reporter should ask Homeland Security, and that was it. That was the end of it. Donald Trump didn't have the energy to do a version of his lies about who these people are. Donald Trump didn't bother with the angry retort about all the crimes Donald Trump imagines these people have committed without any evidence or any proof that most of them have ever committed a crime in their lives. Donald Trump didn't have the energy for his own act today. In his 26th day in a row of being a total loser in the trade war that he started, Donald Trump is now choosing to say, I don't know, when he's asked about toys or anything involving children and his tariffs. Donald Trump, who earned the nickname Donnie Two Dolls on this program last week when he said American children should get used to having just $2 under the Christmas tree instead of 30, those are his numbers, which was yet another proof of Donald Trump's utter obliviousness to how life is lived in the country where he is president, especially the way life is lived by children. Even Donald Trump could understand how bad the public reaction was to his two dolls idiocy. And so his next attempt with that sort of question, all he did was raise the number of dolls to 3 or 4 or 5. Those are the numbers he said were possible.
He uplifted.
And while he was at it, he threw in pencils.
He uplifted from 2 to 3.
Said kids should get used
And
to
the man
having
never asked him no question, but he said in his
Instead
mind, he said he's stupid.
And again, this is a Trump number, 250 pencils, which again demonstrates Donald Trump's utter obliviousness to the life of the American child. On Meet the Press, Donald Trump was outraged at being asked about the rising price of strollers.
Tires, strollers, some clothing in the wake of your tariffs.
That's peanuts compared to energy. Energy is 60% of the cost.
But sir, you campaigned on a promise to bring prices down on day
Well, I don't know. When
one.
you say strollers are going up, what kind of a thing?
And then he changed the subject. Strollers, what kind of a thing? Question mark. Then he changes the subject. It really sounded like he doesn't know what a stroller is. That's what he meant by what
The
kind
thing
of
that they
thing.
push babies in?
Which is entirely possible. Because even before Donald Trump entered this
Be so
period of what
stupid.
appears to be possible neurological decline, he lived a kind of rich, ultra self-centered, oblivious life that could make him not know what the word stroller means. That's possible. And later, on that day, on Sunday, on Air Force One, it sure sounded like the word stroller really isn't in Donald Trump's vocabulary.
Inflation is down, all costs are down, everything is down, other than, as Tristan said, the thing that you carry the babies around in, but that's up 3%.
The thing that you carry the babies around in. That's what he just said.
The things that they carry the
It's
baby
going
around
up a lot
in.
more than 3%, by the way, the thing that you carry the babies around in. Donald Trump wants you to pay more than double for a stroller, 150% more, 145% if it's imported from China. So, if you're pregnant right now, tonight, you might not be able to afford a stroller when you really need one. And even if you can't afford one, no matter what the price turns out to be, you might not be able to get one in this country thanks to Donald Trump. The Washington Post reports virtually every car seat, stroller, bassinet,
Made in
and
China.
changing table sold in the U.S. is made in China, making the children's products industry among the most vulnerable to fast rising costs and shortages. But with new tariffs more than double